Good morning. Good morning to everybody who's here with us in the audience today. And also, good morning if anybody's listening to us on YouTube. Today is Sunday, October 22nd, and we are at Becerra de Meneses in Miami, Florida. Our spiritual center is a nonprofit 501c3 association. We function strictly through volunteers and donation. And our mission is to study Spiritism and promote the practice of spiritual and material charity. If any of you would like to give us a call, our number is 305-477-4148. Our email is info@spiritist.com. And our website is www.spiritist.com. Most of the information that you may need will be found on the website, but some of it does need updating. So we do ask you to visit us if possible. As we said before, we are broadcasting live on YouTube at 10 a.m. We're a little late, thanks to me, in English, and at 10:30 in Spanish or Portuguese, depending on the lecturer. In order to listen to us or view us on YouTube, you simply need to log on to www.youtube.com/Becerra Miami. And we ask you to please silence your phones or preferably to turn them off, but I know we can't live without them. Becerra de Meneses functions 100% through volunteers and donations. Our overhead is $5,000 a month, so every donation is welcome and appreciated. From 1 penny to $1 million, we will accept all the donations. And very important, our radiospiritist.com is podcast. So you can listen to our podcast 24/7 in English, Spanish, or Portuguese. We have speakers such as Humberto Fabri, Simone Privato, Enisi Quadros, Álvaro Vélez Pareja, with wonderful lectures. How to defeat death, what is the perispirit, separation and divorce, spiritism is science, afraid of death, spiritual cures, and many more. All you have to do is log into radio.spiritist.com. When you click, then you can listen to whatever podcast you can from any of your electronic equipment. And today, we're going to be listening to our dear Chico Javier by the Spirit of Emmanuel in the book Our Daily Bread, chapter 61, Mankind with Jesus. Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again, rejoice. This is Jesus speaking to us through Paul in Philippians chapter 4, verse 4. When Jesus, mankind rises from the darkness into the light, from inertia to service, from ignorance to wisdom, from instinct to reason, from the use of force to righteousness, from selfishness to fraternity, from tyranny to compassion, from violence to understanding, from hatred to love, from deceptive possession to the search for imperishable wealth, from the bloody conquest to edification, renunciation, from extortion to justice, from insensibility to compassion, from the shallow word to the creative verb, from monstrosity to beauty, from vice to virtue, from disharmony to harmony, from affliction to contentment, from the swamp to the mount, from filth to glory. My fellow man, my brother, let us rejoice in the redeeming battle. What an angelic pinnacle we shall be able to reach if we truly consecrate ourselves to the divine friend who descended among us and humiliated himself for us. And so for reflection about today's reading, in today's reading, Emmanuel explains through simple proverbs, deep and meaningful thoughts referring to Paul's statement. With Jesus, he says, mankind rises, darkness turns into light, ignorance to wisdom, instinct to reason, tyranny to compassion, vice to virtue, filth to glory. And as we read, then we realize how all of these proverbs show mankind's path towards progress. This agree with the Spiritist doctrine that affirms that the law of progress is a natural law for all of the universe. We are far away from perfection, but as the history of civilization shows, we can clearly show and see the enormous progress that has been made in mankind. And as Emmanuel mentions, we shall reach an angelic peak if we dedicate ourselves to our divine friend who descended among us and humiliated himself for us. So now we're going to close our eyes, relax, take a deep breath, and think of God our Father. Think of Jesus. Think of Mary. Think of our divine master, best friend, consoler, yoke, Jesus Christ, who's always there for us, no matter what. For our dear Dr. Becerra de Menezes and his beautiful and loving way. Also, dear Lord, for our spiritual guides and our mentors, for our guardian angels, for those spirits that are here with us today, some that came to accompany us, some that came to learn and listen to the teachings of Jesus, some that were brought here to be assisted, and others that came here to assist us. Because as we know, Heavenly Father, when we walk through those doors of our center, there's a filter, there are guards outside that do not let harm come. As we know, love and peace and charity and humbleness reside here. And as we know, no matter what color, no matter what skin, no matter what language, we are all children of the same Father. And so, same loving, eternal way, we would like to thank our Heavenly Father and thank all those mentors and guides for this Sunday morning gospel in English. We would like to pray for our dear sister Sarita. We would like to ask for forgiveness for saying the wrong time. Thank you, dear Lord. Amen. So now we have the honor to introduce our dear Sarita, who's going to do chapter 14, the gospel according to Spiritism, honor your father and your mother. And she is here actually early because I gave her the incorrect time. So without further ado, Sarita, please. Water here.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. So, I'm going to talk today about chapter 14. So, here comes the first question: why we should honor our father? Why Jesus was asking us to do that? Like, special, like today's date, that we see like so many families, couples, they are divorced, so many are divorced, like parents that don't want their children and they put it to adoption. Every family is a different situation. So then some people can ask, why should I honor my father and my mother? Because it is all different. I'm a little tall. This is what Jesus is telling us. He summarized like what is uniting all these adversities, like what we should do like all in common in order to honor our parents. So it's from the commandments. He said, the man inquired. Jesus replied, Do not murder, do not commit adultery, do not steal, do not give a false testimony. Honor your father and your mother, and love your neighbors as yourself. Matthews. Later on, and also in the Decalogue, he put it, honor your father and your mother, so that you may live long in the land the Lord your God is giving you. Okay, so how now we can put all this together? How Jesus, what is the guidelines that he gave to us? Like, okay, so how can I put it this like in my basis to do what Jesus was asking me with so many different ways? Families. Why we should honor our parents? Because they came with the duty of, through material life, help us to progress our moral life. What we should do to then in order to do what Jesus is asking us for. Filial devotion. Yeah? And how we develop it, filial devotion with so many different families. Through honor. So first of all, we need to honor our parents because they gave us to the opportunity to live life. There is so many spirits trying to reincarnate it, and the option yes for our lives, yeah? So many young girls, they are like, they don't have kids. Our parents, like, how many times they didn't sleep at night? They gave up like good positions at work just to be able to provide us shelter and food, love, to guide us, especially when we are like. First of all, it's honor. How I show honor to my parents. Back then, it's very important. Patient. We need to be our parents, but not just with our parents. Him the same patient they would like them to have it with us. Funny because this day I have been thinking about that because I work in a hospital. Okay, in the hospital everything is centered in the patient. Yeah? A lot of the times, especially in the hospital that I work, is a lot of seniors. And seniors, you need to have a more patient. And what they are in the hospital? Patients. Yeah? So this is kind of a trick word. If they are patients, but we actually don't have a patient with them. So this is it's a little thing, but it's the common sense of everything. And love. And how we love. Sometimes it's difficult. It's very common you have like parents, they don't get along with their child. Yeah, the child and don't get along with the parents. And so say, how I'm gonna love that one? It's so difficult. No, sometimes parents they're like always punishing. Very abusive. So like how I'm gonna love them? You know, it's sometimes it's not easy. So it's kind of a daily exercise of love and care for them, like I said before, like they care about us. Take care of them. Here's a little example. I'm telling all those things that we used to do, né? What we should do. But how like it's easy to say, but it's easy to apply, especially when you are not here in the center, because we come here and speak and say words, but like when you're outside, you don't remember what you learned over here. You might remember afterwards, but sometimes it's really hard to connect it. So I'm giving like a little story that is, I think like it's an example that we see everywhere. Okay, so this is a story of a family. They got married, a couple that got married, they had a kid, and with the time being, their parents start to get old. The grandmother died, and they brought the grandfather to live with them. Okay, but the time passed being, the kid they had a child, was already in their 4, 5 years old, and the grandfather started to like not behaving well in the dinner table. the family time, where they are all together, coming from work, the kids from school. That's the time that they were there together to see how was your day. But the grandfather was already very old, and they start to make noises at the table. He was dropping food because he could not hand the forks and the knife very well. And they start to feel like uncomfortable with the grandfather presence in the table. So what they did, they bought like a little table, put like beside him, and bought like a steel ball so that he could eat and not break more plates, like plastic fork and knife. Okay, the problem is resolved. So then, and the grandfather didn't say anything. And then one day, the father came back from home earlier, and the kid was in the backyard playing, with a piece of food. And then he asking, "Oh, that's so nice. What are you doing?" And the kid said, "Oh, I'm preparing your wooden ball so when you get older, like the grandfather, you can have yours ready for you." So that's when, oops. Then what the time that he realized what he was doing. So it looks like that it's just in the gospel, but it's not. It's here. It's now. It's in our lives. When we are a child, the kids are eating. They are making mess. You need to clean all their faces. They don't know how to hold. How many times your parents, they don't have time to eat because they need to give food to the kid. They need to go to work. They don't sleep. Yeah. And all the mess, they stop to take care of the kids. So that's what they connected what I said before. Need to take care of them like this. Because we're gonna get older like them. So the beginning of everything starts at home. This is our foundation. So through filial devotion, trying to build respect, love, honor, and care, we're gonna start to build our boundaries for our foundation. And why we need that? Because at home, how we can love someone outside our home if you didn't develop love at home. Like some families, they have animals. Why a little animal is bringing to the family? Is teaching the child how to take care of a little creature. Is teaching the child that we are not eternal because the animals has a shortened life. Is teaching the child how to love, how to respect it. You're teaching your kid how to be polite. So how I'm gonna be polite with a stranger if I didn't have this at home? Some parents, they give everything to the kid just for they don't see them cry, They put on the TV the whole day. But they need to start to think about those things. What are you building? There was a story a long time ago, very short, briefly. They say the bad mothers, It's the mother that say, no, you're not going to sleep in your neighbor house, No, you're not going to the nightclub tonight. But they are building it's the foundation of those kids. So when something happens in their life, they know they have like strong boundaries of themselves. It knows something that happened, and it's gonna be unbalanced. That's the word. So you wanna learn how to respect it, the difference. Yeah, you respect the old, you respect the new. You respect it sometimes somebody from your family that has kind of disability. So you need to respect the difference because we are all different. Yeah. We see sometimes in the family, they don't let the cousins to get along because the cousin, it's not very nice. It's not polite. Or they are poorer than me. They don't eat well. You need to respect the difference because we are all different. When you open your door and you leave the high school and you go to the college, you're gonna get connected with all those different. So you need to be prepared. You need to prepare your kid for what is out there. If you don't do that, what you're gonna create in our society? People with low self-esteem, depression, people, they're like selfish in vulnerable relationships. If I don't develop this inside of my house, that is my foundation, how I'm going to do this outside if I don't know? There is like a spirit book they call Love Your Enemies. They tell about a guy that he murdered a family. Okay? So then the father was the only one that was still alive. So came the spirit to teach him how he should learn how to love this person that was in jail that killed all his family. So how I'm gonna like forgive what he did to my family? Well, long story short, what happened in a previous incarnation, the father in this incarnation, that was all his family, he was the father of the guy that killed his family. And he was like a professor in mathematics. And he was not like a kind of person that has feelings. So every time that the kid was crying, he said like, a man should not cry. A man should not cry. And the kid grew up not developing feelings. So when he came in this incarnation, he had no feeling. So for him to kill someone, nothing, because that was something that was like developing him. So the spirits come into him and say, look, this is something that you started, you created before. And when he, after all the scenarios, all the situations that happen in the book, he learned and he forgave. We see like in our society today, kids having kids. Yeah, you see girls of 12 years old having another kids. They are like, they born in the streets. They don't have a family because they are still a child, having another child. So they don't know love. For them to kill someone, it's nothing. So we need to have those kind of thoughts. Like, we cannot blame people equally. We need to understand what is coming behind what is happening in front of us. We need to start to understand our neighbors. So this is at home, at work, at the street. We need to respect the difference. We need to start to understand why things are like that. So that's what happened. When you start creating a home, love, respect your parents, or not respecting, you're going to start to, that's the way that we are. We treat the people outside home the way that we treated them inside. So if I treat my grandfather, my grandmother with respect, when I see like an older senior at the street, I'm going to treat with respect too, because this is what I was taught. If I had like a small brother, a child, and my mom teach me like how to take care. If I see a child on the street and he has some kind of behavior, I know what it means. But if I don't respect my mother, I'm going to see the other mothers in the streets and I'm going to treat equally. So home is for sure our foundation. We cannot develop something outside a home if you don't have like build inside of you. It's easy to see, when you see, if you have like a sister that likes music, and she is playing piano at home, this doesn't gonna bother you that much because you grew up with that. So when you're going to a friend's house and they're the noise, they're still learning, say, oh, please stop, this is bothering my ears. No, you're gonna understand that the person is learning because you already had this experience at home. And this is everything at home. We cannot understand if you don't have experience. Tell me another passage from the gospel. In having arrived at home, he gathered a great crowd of people who could not even take their food. His relatives, having known about it, came to see him because they say he had lost the spirit. Meanwhile, his mother and his brother have come and staying outside. They asked to call him call him. The people were sitting around him said, "Your mother and your brothers are calling you." But he answered them, "Who is my father and who is my mother? Because all that who does the will of God, this is my brother, my sister, and my mother." So, who is my father and who is my mother? That's the big question. Now another concept. So, who is my father? Who is my mother? Our spiritual and material family. Yeah? So, my father today, it might be somebody that I never reincarnated before. I might have some connection in spiritual life that I consider more my father than father that I have here. So, in the end of the road, who is my father and who is my mother? It's all those people on the street. So, as we develop love, as we develop respect for each other, we start to increase of the members of our family. It's like I like to use a picture like in my mind. It helped me to understand that. So we have a family over here. Yeah. So when my grandmother died, he's in the spiritual life. So he's there and she's watching me. Yeah. Now she became part of my family. She's there in the spiritual world. It's not because she is no longer here. She doesn't care about me. Of course she does, like I do for her. Yeah. So one day it's gonna be the opposite. I will be there and she will be here. So it's the same family here in the material world and the spiritual world. But sometimes what happens? People that come into our family that is for the first time. Yeah. Or you find somebody in the street that is nothing to do with you, but you start to build those boundaries. So you start to increase your family members. And this circle of life, of circle of love, start to increase. Families are forming a group of spirits who are induced to gather together because of their affinities of tastes, moral progress, and affections. During their terrestrial migrations, these same spirits seek each other out in order to group themselves as they do in space. So giving origin to unite and homogeneous families. If during their peregrinations it so happen they are temporarily separated, then they will meet again later on, happy for the new progress which has been accomplished. So why sometimes you have a friend that is more your brother than your own brother? Yeah? Spiritual material partnership. That's what I was saying before. Remember the circular? So maybe like you are already connected to the person. You already learned how to love the person. So he came in another family to help the other family. But you guys are so connected that you meet in life. And we see this in our daily basis. Like we always like group of friends, it changes. Yeah. In your life, you might have like 3 or 4 friends that is forever, but everything else is like in a cycle. So you have a group of friends today, and like you learn, you like getting together, you start to like them, and like in a few years, when everybody's already like each other, everybody goes to eat together, go here and there, life suddenly starts to separate it. You still like them, but the life starts to separate it. And then you start to having another group of friends. So why this happened? Because what you already have to learn with those group of people, it's done. So you grew, but you cannot be in your comfort zone. So life starts to push you to another group of people. And that's why we increase. It's not that you don't have more their friends. Of course you do. Sometimes you go, let's say, to Brazil to meet your friends that's from a long time, but you start to make more friends. So they already know each other from past life. So how this is like different situations, different scenarios that we have in our family. Okay, we can have a group of family of people that know each other from past lives. So they have a commitment to grow and to help each other. Like I said, for example, the parents, the father, the guy killed his family, they might come together as a son and a father now in another life to straight this boundary of love. Then like they don't like each other. Yeah. This is very common. You know, you see in families, people that like maybe kill someone, you know, and they come together, brothers and sisters, they are like dead, fighting, fighting, fighting. Something that we see like very common too is like when you have an abortion, you know, and the kid that does not like forgive the mother, and they might come together as a brother and sister, or again, on a father and a daughter to like to help to love each other, to learn the same kind of lesson. So you might not know each other from a previous life, but you come here to learn the same thing. So you might come in the same family, or to help others. You know, you already know. You already like you see this. Sometimes you see couples they love each other so much. You know, you see, oh, they are from the previous life, so they don't need to learn each other anything. What they are coming. So they are coming to help others. And I extend it to those who take the place of mother and father. So when they are coming to help others, sometimes we have families, they are foster parents. Yeah? So they are coming to help other kids that don't, parents didn't want. So this is a very, when I was reading this, I was thinking, so how about the kids, they are foster kids, you know? They are abandoned from the parents. So they were like abused at home. So how this should be developed, how the owner should be developed. So I was reading about and said like all kinds of abuse, it's not right. Yeah. So they need to is trying to forgive because the parents are imperfect people like us. So they said they need to try to forgive, need to try to develop love, but all kinds of abuse, it's not like removed from that family. So that's why it can be extended to those that take place as mother and as a father. It might not be a biological father or mother, but are those that teach you the foundations of love. So spirits teaching children's ungrateful and family ties. So the soul that incarnates in the body comes from the space to progress. It's the duty of the parents to put all the love they bring these souls closer to God. This picture. Do not reject the child who repels the mother or the ungrateful son. From the cradle, the child manifested the good or bad instance from their previous existence. If you let egoism and pride develop, do not be afraid of being later paid for ingratitude. Do as the good gardener who pulls out the bad shoots as he sees them rise above the tree. So you need to take care of your kids when they are like little, so it didn't develop. It's very interesting, especially now in like in the modern life, there is so many diversity. Yeah. So the other day I was seeing like a post about a child like very little already with like bad instance. So what the parents should do in this case? They say, oh, this is a beautiful thing, ha ha ha, or they should like push it back and try to teach the kids. To teach, yeah? It's like the animals. If you let the dog like bark and start to jump on you when he was a little, as a pup, he's gonna start doing this more. Well, yeah? So it's the same thing. God will ask every mother and father, what have you done with the child who has entrusted to you? Parents has this responsibility to take care of their kids. If they do what happened, they are failing with the law. They are failing with the God gave to them as a present. So to have a child, it's a gift. Not there is so many people that wants to have a kid that they don't have. So when you have one, it's a gift. God is giving to you. And you're not by yourself. All the kids that is coming to you, they have their spiritual angels. So pray for them. Ask guidance, especially when the kids are teenagers. It's so hard to. But why is hard? Because those kids are like in conflict with themselves because they are not kids anymore, but also they are not adults, so they don't know where to be, So you need to have a patience because we were there too. We were there when they were like teenagers, were in the same situation. Receive these perturbed spirits as your brothers and sisters. Help them, and afterwards, when once again they are in the spiritual world, the family will be able to congratulate itself for having saved one outcast, who is their turn may save others. St. Augustine. So we are surrounded by a great cloud of witness. Divaldo, he said a story that is very nice. So he said that there was a spirit with him, always like a negative spirit, always with him, like not creating trouble in his life. And one day, because he has like an orphanage in Brazil. So like one day, came a kid, like a baby, with all like ants and eating the kid. And he get the baby and he said, okay, I'm gonna create this baby as my daughter. And the spirit came into him like a few days and said, I need to stop to create a problem for you. I don't wanna more be like trying to do something for you that is not nice. Because that kid that you're taking care, it's my mother. So we need to think about that. So we are surrounded by witness around us. They are watching us. So everything that we do, we are used as example. Everything that you do here, there is people watching you. Yeah. And even when we speak, sometimes you're speaking with someone like needs help. You're talking to that person, like don't cry, God is here with you. We are here to help. You might have another spirits that like has in the same scenario, same situation, looking for help. So when you're helping that person, we are also helping people there, another spirits that is around. And also, like when you are worried because you have like a kid at home that is not behaving well, or you have a parent that is difficult to deal, you need to think about it. You are not by yourself. You have like a guardian angels that are helping you. So when you're in that situation that you don't know what more to do to talk to that person because it's hard to have a dialogue, ask for an inspiration, open the gospel. It always comes the answer. Incredible, but it can always come the answer. Why is all this? This is my last one. Because the family, if the life is great and blessed, everything is started at home, and when we die, what is the one that is most closer to us in the time that we're going to the other life? Is our parents. So family is everything. Want me to do the... Okay, so we're gonna do collective process. So let's close our eyes. Let's take a deep breath. Let's get connected with the muse. Let's think about Jesus. Feel that is here with us. That our souls found. Let the light inside of us be connected with the light of this room, where we're gonna feeling that Jesus is going to each one of us, giving his bless, giving his love, taking all that we have been born, everything that we don't know how to deal, all the difficulties. We extend our hand. Now, love connection. Gonna imagine He's giving to us flower, bringing to us peace, harmonizing our blood, our brain. That flower be with us for the whole week.